I want to welcome you all to the fall 2017 leadership development class at Houghton College. My name is Dr. Webb, and I'm the professor for the class this fall for these next 8 weeks. And I want to introduce you to me a little bit, and then spend a few minutes talking about the course so that you have a good idea of what the expectations are, where we're headed, and just how this course is going to work for you on Moodle. This may be the first time for some of you taking an online course, and it's a little different than the face-to-face interaction that we have on a regular basis in a regular class. Participation and timely participation is really, really important in an online course. But let me start by just introducing myself. Like I said, my name is Dr. Webb. I've been at Houghton for 25 years. I'm currently, and have been for the last 14 years, the head men's soccer coach and also the associate athletic director at Houghton. Prior to my time in athletics, I spent some time working in the student life office. I was the director of student programs for a number of years. And prior to that, I was a resident director in Shenawanna Hall. So for all of you guys in the class that have lived in Shen or live in Shen, go Shen. In any case, my education, received my undergraduate from Bethel College in St. Paul, Minnesota, a number of years ago. Went on to receive my master's degree at Alfred University, just down the road from here, in student life administration and higher education. And then more recently received my doctorate from Regent University in organizational leadership. So leadership literature, leadership studies has been something that I'm very interested in, continue to read a lot in. So I'm excited about sort of diving into this with you as we explore the field of leadership development together. I'm married, have been for over 25 years. I've got 5 children. I've got 22-year-old daughters, 23-year-old daughters, twin girls, graduated from Houghton, 21-year-old son, who is a senior here at Houghton College, and then twin 15-year-old boys that are in 10th grade. So let's look into the course a little bit. As you look at Moodle, you'll see we've got 8 weeks of the course for these next 2 months. Each week we cover 2 chapters from the textbook. You'll notice that we follow pretty closely the format, the outline of the text itself throughout the course. Definitely using that as a guide for how we go through the course. Nordhaus is probably the preeminent author in leadership development right now. This particular book has been used for years. It's now in its 7th edition, and we're going to follow it pretty closely to help guide our discussions. You'll see each week we have 2 forum discussion forums. Each of those follows a particular chapter in the book. So for example, this week we've got 2 forums, Chapter 1 forum and the Chapter 2 forums. Chapter 1 is basically an introductory session, and what I'm asking from you in that particular forum is a little bit unique, a little different than what the rest of the course will entail. And then Chapter 2 is talking about the trait approach to leadership, and there will be a question there for us to discuss. The crux, the meat of the course happens in these discussion forums. You'll notice in each week block, so week 1 is October 23 to 29. We start that today. You've got a lot of resource materials to help you as we sort of dive into the information. You've got a PowerPoint presentation that's listed for each chapter. I've compiled a variety of resources available for you related to each chapter. Usually includes some extra articles, videos that are online, and those are all for you. If you click on the resource link that's listed there, it'll take you directly to those items. Those items are important for you in terms of helping to formulate your discussion, your thoughts, your responses to the questions. I've also included for you a questionnaire that's available as just a resource for you for every one of the chapters except Chapter 1. But after Chapter 1, there's a leadership or some sort of questionnaire related to that chapter. It's also in the textbook, so it's taken directly from the textbook. But as you navigate the course each week, I'd encourage you to look at those questionnaires, just sort of go through those quickly, take it for yourself. It will help you evaluate and assess sort of your leadership style, traits, whatever it might be. And that will be very, very important for you as you then put together your final paper for the course, which is your personal philosophy of leadership. Um, Within the forums, the requirements for the discussion forums, just so you understand, and I've listed the rubric for how I'll grade those. Each forum discussion is worth a total of 5 points. Those total up throughout the course of the semester to equate or to come to 50% of your overall grade. So those discussions are really, really important. Each week for the discussion forums, you need to post an initial response to the question that's posed in the forum by the end of the day on Wednesday of that week. So we're now in Monday already. Your initial response to the discussion itself, to the question itself, needs to be posted by Wednesday at 11:55 p.m. You're then required to respond to at least 2 of your classmates' initial posts. So for every forum that we do, there's a minimum of 3 responses required from you to participate in that discussion. You'll notice on every one of the forums, except for the first one because it's different, and I'll get back to that a little bit later, but you click on a forum, it will have the question that's posed, and it'll give you a maximum word count. So I don't want you to exceed that word count. Most of them are 300 words, and then as we get later in the semester, we actually make it a little shorter to encourage you to be concise in your writing. And I think that's an important skill to learn in your writing, is to be concise, to be clear. Excuse me. So we actually shorten it and make it a little shorter as the course goes on. But to start with, you've got 300 words for your word limit. Your secondary responses, responding to your classmates, might be a bit shorter, and that's fine. But there needs to be within your secondary responses not just simply, hey, Dr. Webb, I loved your post. Great, thanks for the insight. You need to ask questions, see if you can't further the discussion, maybe challenge a bit on someone's perspective or point of view, like, hey, I heard you say about transactional leadership that you think such and such, although from what I saw in the text, it would seem to suggest something else. What do you think about that? In your forum, in your posts, I'm expecting you to reference the text and also reference other resources that you might find. A lot of those resources can be found in what I've provided for you, but I want you to look into the literature and find other sources to support your claims, to support your arguments, not just your opinion. Your opinion's fine, but I want a little bit more than just your opinion. I want to see that you're integrating what we've been reading for the week, the additional resources that are available to you, into the discussion itself. So again, need your initial response to the forum question itself by Wednesday night, and then need your response or your secondary responses, your replies to your classmates' posts by Sunday night. The week itself is sort of a Monday to Sunday week. So Sunday night, midnight is the deadline for those forum discussions. I've included in the syllabus a resource for you that will be very helpful as you cite your text or other resources that you're using. Make sure you look at the syllabus. I have a link there too. It's called Citation Machine, and it helps you format in the APA format correctly. Any citation, you actually can type in the information that you want, and that will spit out the right format for you, given the resource that it is. Again, be sure to read through the information about the dialogue discussions in the syllabus. I go into quite a bit of detail in terms of what I'm expecting. I share with you how I will grade those in terms of earning a full 5 points down to 0 points. Then we go into your 2 other assignments. So really the assignments for the course are the forums each week, and then there's 2 papers. So week 4, midway through the course, is the first paper assignment, and that is asking you to analyze, describe a leader of your choice. You can choose any leader that you'd like, past or present. Someone that would be well known, though, that I would know who you're talking about. A political leader, someone who's real famous in some capacity, and talk about that leader. And I've spelled out what I'm looking for. That's just a 4 to 5 page paper, so that's not a real long one. And that's due midway through the course. Again, it's week 4. I think it's due November 19th. Then if you scroll down all the way to the end of the course, your final paper is due the last day of the course, December 17th, and that's your personal philosophy of leadership. And again, I've spelled out the criteria for that in the syllabus, and it's listed there actually on the assignment itself. Again, not a super long paper, but I'm asking you to dive into sort of your belief about leadership. What is your philosophy of leadership, which should be hopefully influenced a bit by the class itself and the discussions that we have over these next 8 weeks. Come all the way back up to the very first forum. So for this week, chapter 1 forum is the introduction. I'm asking you to put together a 5-page PowerPoint presentation, simply introducing yourself and talking about yourself a little bit in the context of leadership. I've already posted mine. You can use that as a reference, as an idea. It doesn't have to look exactly like that. There's no real particular format, or you don't have to have pictures. I like pictures. I think they're fun to look at, but it's up to you as to how you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about leadership in your introduction. But it's a way for us to get to know each other a little bit. The secondary responses for this particular forum are not super critical. We're not looking to I'm not looking for a ton of resources right now, but I want to see a little bit of interaction within the class by means of these PowerPoint introductory forum. Also, just at the very, very top of the course, there are a few items that are there. There's a couple forums, a news forum. So if I ever add something to the course, I add another article. If there's a change that's made in the course for any reason, that will be posted in the news forum. So make sure you're looking at that regularly. The instructor help forum button. If you have any questions for me relative to the course, how something's supposed to happen, that would be beneficial for everybody to see, please just post those questions there so that everyone can benefit from your inquiry. Third link you'll see is called Textbook Leadership Development. This is a link that takes you directly to an online access, e-file access, I guess, for the textbook of the course. So this is a service that's provided, and my understanding, I think I've got this right, is that you need to opt out of having this access. If you don't opt out of the access, you'll be charged for that online book. So, for example, if you've already bought the hard copy of the book, you don't need the online copy, and you'd want to opt out of that. Otherwise, I think by it's the end of this week, that will be automatically charged to your account. So that's available. If you don't have the textbook, it's there, and you can have it right online. But if you already have the textbook, you obviously don't need that and don't want to be charged for that. So make sure that you opt out of that this week. And if you have any questions about that, if there's not a link to automatically do that, just let me know and I'll make sure to get the answer for you as to how to do that if it's not made clear through that link. But I think it's through that link is made clear. And the syllabus is also there as well. The last attachment there is the syllabus. Again, welcome to the course. I can be reached at any time. My Houghton email, matthew.webb@houghton.edu. I'm in my office quite a bit for those that are on campus. My intent would be to respond to any email from you within 24 hours, if not sooner. I'd like to say that I would guarantee that. I'm not going to guarantee that, but that's my intent, is to try and get back to you ASAP, because I know a lot of this is very, very timely. When we get the papers, when we get to that point midway through the course, I hope to have those back to you a real quick turnaround, because I know that's important and helpful for you in terms of putting together your final paper. Just having an idea of how I grade, what I'm looking for, so that you can make improvements on that, and so that you know what I'm looking for the final paper as well. Again, strongly encourage you to get into the forum discussions as soon as possible. Early in the week, you should be posting your initial response to each of the forum questions. And then as the week progresses, we'll be interacting with each other as we respond to each other in the forum. Again, I'm looking forward to the class. I hope you're all looking forward to it as well. And let's get at it. Thanks.